This is the interview segment, and I have my guest with me, where we will be talking about the rise of AI, which is artificial intelligence in Yoruba language. So I have here with me Mr. Emmanuel Omorodion. Please introduce yourself. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning. I am Emmanuel Omorodion, Program Assistant, Data Science Nigeria.
Okay. It's really good to have you here this morning.
Yes, thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Okay, so without much ado, let's dive into what we'll be talking about this morning. So I have I have some very special question, and this has to do with the concept of Yoruba in artificial intelligence. You know, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we know that it's basically in English. You know, now that we are bringing our own native Yoruba, I would call it something like an adaptation when we are bringing it to our own language to actually make it more simplified to people. So how would you describe artificial intelligence, and what inspired, what prompted this new concept in Yoruba language?
So artificial intelligence in its simplest form is simply getting machines to do what humans could do.
Okay.
And at Data Science Nigeria, we are on a mission to democratize learning, meaning bring artificial intelligence learning to even the most uneducated person. Ensure that artificial intelligence knowledge is everywhere, especially in the country, and we're a leading organization at that. So when it comes to AI in Yoruba, this is born out of the desire to ensure that everyone, regardless of language or social barrier, is able to get artificial intelligence learning free and accessible in their own indigenous languages.
Okay. You mentioned something about bringing it down to people so that people could actually like jump on it. That is, I want to believe that that is for somebody that actually like maybe speak English, like let's say we have somebody that actually like speaks English correctly and whatnot. Now let's talk about people that do not actually understand Yoruba. You know, whether we like it or not, we still have people that are Yoruba, they go by Yoruba names, and they cannot speak or, construct a simple sentence in Yoruba. How do you intend to like, bridge the gap?
So, just like you had said when you launched earlier, artificial intelligence learnings are mostly found in English language. When you want to transition into tech, most of the materials for learning you find are in English language.
Okay.
And that is a barrier to people who do not speak English.
Okay.
Now we're talking about AI in Yoruba, which will be launching next week at the Ogun Summit, just so you know. Yes, we have them in Yoruba, okay, but the text in these 40 videos that have been curated are in English. So even though you do not understand Yoruba in its entirety, while you are able to grasp the key concepts of artificial intelligence simplified in Yoruba, you can also follow through with the text that is in English.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying now is we have both on board.
Yeah.
So it's just about you picking which works for you, right?
Which works for you.
Okay, okay. I mean, that brings us to my next question, which is what makes artificial intelligence in Yoruba different from others? What's the peculiarity? What's the uniqueness about it?
So, it's born of the desire to get everyone on board. Every single person, regardless of social strata, regardless of educational qualification, everyone can transition into tech. That's our belief at Data Science Nigeria, that every single person can transition into tech. That's why these learning contents have been developed to ensure that even those who do not have knowledge of English language, and I must say, it's not just about not having knowledge of English language. These concepts can be higher level. They are in higher level languages. So when we talk about computer vision, NLP, and the rest, they are languages that seem hard to understand. They are words that seem hard to understand. But when you break them down into our indigenous languages, especially Yoruba,
Okay.
You know, in Yoruba, you can have 7 words for 1 word in English.
Yes.
So it's quite explanatory. So these contents have been developed in a way that the concepts are explained in its barest form.
Okay.
So even if you do not have a tech background at all,
Somebody like me.
yeah, so even if you don't have a tech background at all, you can actually follow through with these learning content, and at the end you're self-proficient, and it builds your foundation for further learning. Because the problem with transitioning to tech, especially in our day now, is how to start, where to start. So when you already have a sound foundation, as we'll be getting from this learning content, the sky is your limit.
Oh, okay. I mean, that explains it all. So, my next question now, let's go back to the program that will be launched on, did you say Wednesday or Thursday?
Yes, Wednesday next week.
On Wednesday next week. So is it open to all, like, can people just, come on board? Is there registration, whatever process that you have to go through before you actually, like, get on board with you?
Yeah, so the Ogun Summit is an open summit. It's happening at the June 12 Center in Kuto, in Abeokuta here.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be launching the AI in Yoruba for series of 40 videos. And right there at the conference center, we would have our own stand where people can just come in and copy this content. They are free. There's no cost attached. Can just come in and copy the content, come with their devices, copy the content. And we're also partnering with tech hubs in Ogun State. We have our own data science community in OOU, FUNAB, TASWED. So we're partnering with all these communities to ensure that even those who do not have the opportunity to come down to the conference can get to these hubs and copy these contents on their phones, their laptops, their devices, and they can start learning from there, because you cannot build a nation without educating them. And we know that tech is the new frontier, data is the new oil. So we need to bring up our people into the data train.
Right. I mean, the whole thing sounds really juicy. Anyway, thank you so much for being on the program this morning once again.
Thank you.
So I hope that people have been able to, get 1 or 2 by next week. The program will be launched, and they expect people to just, come on board to jump on the offer, no registration fee, and they're actually partnering with Ogun State Tech Hub, which makes it more interesting. So from now, we'll be moving to the next thing, which is a feature on Jimmy Carter. We'd like you to stay with us while we go on this very short break. We'll be right back. Don't go.